Hey guys, 10 biggest reasons people fail at getting customers. I'm so excited to bring this to you. These solutions to you to help you bring freedom and life and opportunity to you for your info business, agency, consulting, coaching business. All right. So let's dive right on to it. Luke here today close over 7 figures in the virtual space for myself, not including my customers, and cannot wait to share what I have learned. And obviously that evolves. Obviously the what I've learned, I build upon it. But there's what I've learned in my few short years. Number one, your niche is broke. This is a big one in itself because your niche is your foundation. For example, I've talked about this in a previous video. Your niche is everything. Okay, you could sell hot dogs, hot steamy hot dogs that you can get at Walmart for like $1 or $2, whatever. I haven't done my recent research on hot dog prices, but they're cheap, right? But if you set up a hot dog stand, and I read this out of a book, and if you put a hot dog stand outside of a stadium of a hungry crowd that hasn't ate all day and they're in the sun, you can pack out. You can sell every hot dog that you have. So you don't have to have an amazing invention. Sometimes you just have a hungry niche, a niche that is starving for your thing. It is a big pain to them, and it's just a matter of proving that you're legit, right? That's the thing. So having a niche is key. So your niche is broke, maybe. That's one thing to think about. But you have to ask yourself, um, is your niche spending money on the solutions you provide? How do you know? Look at competitors. How much are they making? If you got a competitor making like $2 million a month and they started like 3 years ago, what are the chances the niche is hungry? Pretty hungry. Follow up is weak. They don't see prospects like ice. This hit me this morning, and it's so true, and it's so cool. Think about it like this. This represents your prospect right here. And this is also block of ice, believe it or not. I love when people try to draw a line. It's funny. So in the middle is the money. And if you chip at this ice, you get the money. But it takes time, it takes effort. Pretend this is a lollipop and the gum is in the middle. Remember as kids? Oh, those things are so cool. You keep chipping on it and biting it, licking it, and you get to the middle and bang, you got the gum. Oh, it was so worth the reward. It almost made the shell fun to chew on because you knew the joy that was on the inside. It was so fun. And the sugar is what kept us going till we got the gum, and then an explosion of sugar landed in your mouth. You was happy. But the same thing with our prospects. They are made of ice to you because they don't trust you. The ice represents this. You ready? They don't. Here's the big one. Bang. Let me see if I can do this. Um, the ice is the trust. They don't trust you. Okay. The time you've spent together hasn't been that much. Guess what? They're skeptical. How do you break that away? Being that person always there. There's been some good looking dudes in this world, but a lot of times it is the ugly guy that gets the girl because he's persistent. And if he's persistent and he don't give up and he's creative in his follow up, a lot of times he can get the girl. But the guy with all the ego and he's this, he's that, yep, it gets him. And sometimes there's some egotistic guys who can get the girl, but man, that guy who has follow up, um, ego. That is a killer, guys. And how many times has ego has hurt my chances of winning in my life? It is amazing. Ah, man, the key to winning is when you're making 20, 30, 40, 50K months and beyond, to stay humble. Because the moment you become ego and you know it, bang, you fall like a rock. And that is key. So the way we chip at this ice and knocking out huge chunks out of this ice, and that's what this is. You're axing away. Bang, 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 bang. It's a lot like this for an example. Hold on. This is good. You ready? This is good. Maybe you can relate to this. Coin. Look at this. Do you remember this? Hang on. Not this. This. And I'll show you here. Do you remember this right here? When Mario would bang, 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 hit the thing, and then the coins would come out, And sometimes he would have to hit that block a lot of times before he got the goods, right? That's how you want to do it here. You want to hit on this ice. They're icy to you. And the only way you can break it is if you break this in your life, your ego. But here, you want to know another thing that we're afraid of? We're afraid that we are going to be a pest to them. They don't even know you. They don't think you're a pest. They just think this guy is just really trying to get to me. What in the world? Because here's the deal. Either you're going to spend money in retargeting ads, okay, or you can just email them. Or you can just text them. Or you can DM them. What did you think of this thing? Bing, 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 and just. But the reason we don't do this, so the people would there's nothing wrong with targeting. I'm all about it. In fact, I'm a huge advocate for this and putting the code on your site and let it fall on them everywhere. But you know what? Cost efficiency, texting and DMing works just as good. And eventually when you get so big, you want to come to this. But guys, you can make $50,000 a month just by using the free stuff right here. I mean, you can make more money than doctors using the free stuff. But guess what? Guess why people rather be a doctor than to do this? You ready? Ego. People are afraid to be a pest. That doesn't matter. Follow-up is weak. They don't see prospects like ice. Next thing is they're not getting new leads. How do you get a new lead? You ready? You ready for this? It's amazing. Here's how you get new leads. Okay. Get an email. Email them. There you go. There's your lead. There's your lead. Or pick a profile. Message it. There you go. There is your lead. And then just build that up every day. There's your lead. And y'all going, what? I just randomly message people? Oh, it gets even better. See, we think if we turn on a Facebook ad, and I've been programmed into this, if you just turn on a Facebook ad and you put the conversion pixel in and you wait for the leads to come in, that's a lead. And they've done very good marketing at that. But for thousands of years, a lead was knock knock on the door. How are you? Would you like to buy my chicken meat? Knock knock. Hey, I just got this fish. Would you like to buy my fish? The lead was knock knock. They open up. They respond. Maybe come back tomorrow. There's your lead. But the people who failed at it were those with ego. Because the thing is, the way you nurture that lead is you keep coming back. And of course, we don't ask why enough. You know what I love about kids? Kids, really, if we stayed as kids in our spirit, I want you to look at this right here. You remember as a kid when you wanted a toy at the store, and this was the face that you made? But mama, please, I want it, please. No, you can't have it. Okay. The next day, mama, do you remember that toy, mama? Remember that toy, mama? Yeah, no, you can't have it. And the next day, mama, I want that toy, mama. Or I want to go see grandma, mama. Why can't I see grandma, mama? And she does that day after day. And then she just ends up at grandma's house. Because of follow-up. That's huge. All right. And what brings me to this, it's, remember when kids would go, but why, mama? It always seems like she's saying it, but why, mama? Why? And you break it down. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Here's my point here. Here's my point. Here's a formula. You want to see a $1 million formula? You ready? Here you go. This is a lead. You message that lead, or you contact that lead. Says that's message. you follow up with that lead. This is $1 million formula, guys, by the way. $1 million, top secret. Ready? Follow up. Get him to book. And then deal. That's the blocks right there. Now, if you even want to get even more honest about it, it's lead, message, and then follow up, because a lot of times they won't even respond, and then book, and then they don't show, and then you follow up, and then they show, and then you get money. It's a lot of this. It's a lot of this. But Luke, I don't want to chase people. I'm bigger than that. Oh, you know what I'm hearing? Oh, I hear something. Do you hear it? I hear it. It's coming through. How much money does this thing cost us right here? How much money does our feelings cost us? Who cares? See, the reason we want big trucks, nice cars, helicopters is because it feeds this. But in the beginning, you can't have that. And really, honestly, you really can't have that anywhere. Life is just better when you don't have this, in my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. So, for example, if you're doing this and you're not making the money, then the next question you have to ask yourself is what? What's the word we have to ask? Why? Why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting what I want? And what you do is you go in here, okay, well, what's the numbers look like? And you go, well, I message 5 people a day. Well, there you go. There's your problem. Let's put a 0 on this. Okay, that helps. All right. I got 50 leads. I messaged them. Okay. And then I never follow up. Well, there's your problem. Follow up with all of them. And okay, I follow up with all of them. And then booking, then I get 2 to book. And then nobody buys. What's up? Okay. Maybe I need more than this. Let's say I need 150 leads a day. And a lot of times this is just the answer right here. A lot of times this is just the problem right here. Volume and then follow up. And then you follow up with 150 people, and all of a sudden, let's say 20 book, and all of a sudden 4 buy. Bang, and then that equals, let's say 10K. It doesn't really matter how much of this you really need because this is free to you. Because if you're using your time and labor, it doesn't matter how many people it takes, just do it, right? Like that's, now, understandably, once you start getting a team, then you really got to work on those numbers because now money's involved. But when it's just you, the thing is you just want to go like a maniac. Like you just want to message and email as hard and as long as you can. And that's really all it comes down to is just do more of this. All of it as much as you can until your fingers fall off, until you can't hardly talk, and then just get your numbers. But that's why most people fail in the beginning because their feelings is in the way. And they don't ask, why is this not working? I message 150 people, but then I get, let's say that you do all this, but all of a sudden you get 0. Then the problem is between here and here because you get 20 people to book and then no one buys. That means you're just bad at sales. And then that just means you just need to get good at sales. That's it. But Luke, there's just so much. Well, son, I'm sorry. I don't mean to call you son, but I'm just talking to my younger self here. Why is this not working? Well, who said that making good money was going to be easy? Isn't that another feeling? Who cares if it's hard? Who cares if it's easy? It doesn't make me feel good. Okay. That's okay. That's okay if it don't make us feel good, right? And that's just something I've had to learn a lot. Mindset has been conditioned for failure. And this kind of goes into that. And I'm by far no brains. I'm not a psychologist by far. But what I've been learning and studying and hearing a lot about, and I'm finding that it's true, is our brain is more in control than we know. You have the visual cortex, it looks like. I'm not even going to pretend that I know what a lot of this stuff is. But this rattlesnake represents our fear, right? Because it can hurt us. And when it comes to numbers like this, we feel like, oh, this hurts my status. This hurts how it makes me look. No, it makes you money. But yet the same thing that we see here, we see here. Because, for example, here's just kind of how it happens. Here's just how it happens. Let's say that you're fully committed, and then every day, let's say you know the formula. Let's say the formula you know is if I message 100 people a day, and this is day one, and I do this every day, I know eventually it's going to work. Like, you just know it. Okay? But all of a sudden, right about, you ready? Here, you start getting fearful. Because you go, oh, wait, no booked appointments. I'm not rich yet. And all of a sudden, you start noticing this number right here is day 6. And let's say it goes to 50. Because you're not rich yet. And then all of a sudden, you go do something else. And then you start over with something else, and something else, and something else. When all it really takes, volume, follow-up, conversion. And what you want to do is just come, oh, sorry, you can't see it. But volume, follow-up, conversion. And this is a mind game. This is a mental battle. Because most people just can't do this. 100, 100, 120, 120. This is every day that goes by. 130, 140, 150, maybe 120. You got tired. 110. You got tired. You took a break. Came back. Oh, 140. You went wild. 200. 100 the next day. Yeah, you had a little drop there. But the thing is though, you're putting it out though. What affects a person to go up and go down? If you go off of feelings, feelings will crush you. We cannot do this for feelings. We have to do this because it's the right thing to do to get what we want. So mindset has been conditioned for failure because this little, I don't want to call it a demon because it has some good to it. It is dopamine. It's a rewarding chemical for completing a task, doing self-care activities, eating food, celebrating little wins. But from my little bit of study in this, the dopamine also rewards us when we get on our phones and good job. You should keep looking at your phone. Oh, good job. You ate an ice cream. Oh, good job. Your brain's telling you you're doing good, even if you're not doing good. And it's because, and the reason God made dopamine, so when you go to procreate, it was good job, do that again. When you put food in your mouth, God put this in your brain to go, oh, I need to do this again. This is good for me. Because in the beginning, man didn't know. Man was low on knowledge, right? And he was learning how to live. And God put this into the human race and to creatures, period, right? I mean, to all animals. I'm pretty sure this exists to where they've been given like this algorithm in their brain. But you don't feel that when you're doing this. That's why you have to be an absolute titan to where you go against this, and this doesn't matter. Because the best things you have to learn how to do without this. Okay, so mindset has been conditioned by technology, TikTok. TikTok gets hit hard. I think video games does it. That's why people are so addicted to it. Not 100% against video games per se, but most people just cannot get on them things and control it. They don't lay on the pressure every day. They give up. And it kind of goes back to this. Instead of going up, they go down in effort, because really it just comes back to this. Input equals output. Like this. It also goes back to the laws. Let's see. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. See? By Isaac Newton. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And then same thing here. Here's another one, you know? And that, so for example, if today you show up like a madman and you do 200 messages and then you get 3 bookings, and that equals, you know, that's also a deal, then it's just about showing up and preparing your mind to do this. That's the thing. But why can't most people do this? Fear. Ego. Pain. Next thing is focus is money, not solution. So I say this because you go on, let's say, here's your big ol' eyes here, if you will. This guy's kind of messed up, ain't he? And he's looking over here on his phone, and he sees the big houses, okay? He sees, and this is supposed to be a jet, if you will, but anyway. Yeah, it's supposed to be a jet. And he wants these things. Like he's like, oh, I want this, and that's why I'm doing the work, because I want this. But if you're doing things for this reason right here, now it's okay to have goals. It's okay to say, I want to be here one day. But the focus can't be that. The focus has to be on the solutions. And when your focus is building solutions for people and not making yourself rich, you'll start asking the better questions. What problems do the market have? How can I solve them? And that's just going to help you go a whole lot further. And then also, they're not in the long-term business is another thing why people can't get customers. Okay, so for example, this is the laws of compound, if you will. So here's the start, and then it just keeps going. Okay, laws of compound. Let's say that every single one of this is a day. That must have been a bad day right there. I don't know. All right, this is notch it. Every single one of this is a day. Now, this time will fly by so fast. It's not even pretty. But let's say right here, you message 50 people. Right here. You message 50 people, just like that. Okay? Now, and you stay consistent with it. You're not going to see a lot of action at first. Let's say you're messaging 50 people. You're emailing 50 people. This is 50 new leads a day. This is not even follow-up. Okay? But let's say you follow up with these people as well. So now, up here, the total people you message is 100. Okay? And then now it's 150. And now it's 200. Do you see the compound, how fast this is happening? Right? And just see how fast this is going. In fact, if we kept going this direction, I mean, it would just every day. This is how fast it's going. That compound effect, and let's say for every 100 people, eventually that is a buyer. Now, just because you message 100 people here doesn't mean you're going to start getting buyers every 100 right now, because you're still learning the processes. But as you tighten things up, it'll get to the place that as you're down here, it takes less people to convert them. At first, it may take you 400 people to message someone because you're still trying to figure things out. But also, too, another thing that helps is time. Time as well with people, but it comes to a place that compound would kick in. It's amazing if someone just took 30 days and just went all in. Just 30 days. That's it. Just went all in and did not stop. Why don't they do that? Well, we'll get into that in a moment. They live for feelings, not hard work. That's another issue. And they're foolish with money. This is another thing that I see. So it kind of goes back to this here. Why doesn't someone do this for 30 days and just stick with it day and night, day and night, day and night, just for 30 days of their life? Big word. I'm not even going to try to write this just because fear. That's the big one. Fear is why people don't go, because why? They're like, what if I'm wasting my time? That's why. Because they don't believe in the process. But this is what goes back to here. What if you ask your question, why wouldn't this work? Let me ask you this. If you message 100 people a day and you give them a good offer, then the question goes, but what if the offer isn't great? I have seen people sell boring offers and still turn it into a huge business. I mean, think about this for a minute. Grant Cardone. Someone like this. What does the dude sell that is so amazing? He sells a sales training. Wow. Do you know how much sales training's out there? How long people have been selling sales training? And yet, he has like a 100-person sales team. He sells sales training. That's not that exciting. Why do people buy? Oh, his cool videos. Did you know when people like him started, they cold call and they cold email? They didn't do ads. You know why? You know Salesforce is another one. Salesforce. There was sales software out there at the time. What was so special about this? They actually have a book. The book looks kind of homemade, actually. One of the dudes on the sales teams wrote about what they did. You know what they did? That's what they did. But what's the key here? You ready? But it's like punching away. It's like punching at that ice, chipping at that ice. And you go, okay, but what does this got to do with money? Okay, 30 days. Let's say, for example, for 30 days, every single day, you're chipping away. Let me tell you how it goes. This is how it goes, all right? Here's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8. I'm going to explain what's going on, okay? So on day 1, I'm almost done. Just right here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 14 days in itself. Here's what most people are going to do. You ready? And this represents days. He goes all in, and like I was saying earlier, and he goes all in, sun up, sun down. And let's say you have kids. Let's say you're married. Let's say you have parents. And they see you, and you're not making any money. Okay? And you come at this. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. And you're sending 100 messages a day. I'm going to tell you, on your first day, your brain's telling you you're crazy. You're dumb. Your brain is screaming at you, stop, stop, you're being focused, get on TikTok, get on YouTube, go eat something, go drink something, stop, 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 stop. And you keep going. You keep going. You keep going. Now you're day 7. You have made $0. Most people are destroyed at this point. They stop. They give up. But then you keep going and you keep going. But by this day right here, what is the compound on this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1,400 people have received an offer from you in their inbox. Let me fix this here. 1,400 people have seen your offer. And it's a good offer. How do you know this is going to work? Here's how you know. Ready? Is your niche a good one? Do people spend money on this thing? Yes. Is your offer good? Does it actually help them with their problem? Yes. Okay. Are you putting in the volume? Yes. Then what's the issue? Just time. That's it. If this is a good niche and you got competitors crushing it, if you're offering the same thing as your competitors, you're good. Volume. So the only thing left is just time. Just give it a little bit of time. But you're like, but Luke, what does this got to do with this? They're foolish with their money. Well, this is where I go into this. Well, the thing with time is, with time, it's expensive it's expensive unless you're a one kid living with, and this is why we're seeing teenagers and like 20-year-olds kill it, because their bills is almost zero. For example, a kid that, goes 30 days straight and the only thing he has to pay is a cell phone bill, and he lives with his parents. He lives cell phone bill, car bill, and maybe insurance. And maybe that, let's say he just does this. Okay, that's $50 car bill. Let's say he has, or let's just say he don't even have a car. Let's just say he's just smart. Let's say he just Ubers. He has a cell phone bill, and he has a food bill. That's it. And he might spend $200 a month in food, and then plus $50 cell phone. And that's it. And he lives with his parents because he's 20 years old. 30 days isn't that expensive for him to just go all in. 30 days is not that bad. It only costed him $250. And he's got a little bit of money saved up. 30 days. That's it. 30 days to possibly close one client and maybe make, $3K or something. Worth it. And it's about learning the system so you can put people in place. But for someone, this is where things get a little different though. Let's say you're married. Let's say you have a $1,500 mortgage. Now let's just say altogether you guys spend $4,000 a month on family, like insurance and food and kids and gas and taxes and all this stuff. $4,000 a month. It's going to be a little harder to go 30 days and not make something. Because then you go, this is why I need a job. It looks like Jube. I need a job. And this is why people, why is this? Why is this? Well, then, so the key is then at this point, we just need to attack this. How do we get this lowered so you can just give this thing time, so therefore you can make more money than you ever thought of before? How do we solve that? Well, you should be looking how to lower that bill. And this is where the ego thing comes in then. Here's how people could solve that problem, and they don't want to do it. Downgrade car. All right. Downgrade car is one. Maybe you can have to move and lower that bill. Cancel all subscriptions. That's not needed. Quit going out for, let's say, just first 1 month to 2 months, if possible. Like you do your best, right? You save as hard as you can, and then you just go all in. You just go all in, right? The only thing I would do, the only place I would put money is I would invest in business. That's the only place, whether that's your knowledge, whether that's equipment, but you want to try to be as frugal. And you look at the billionaires, that's what they did. And that's why. So these are the reasons. These are the 10 biggest reasons people fail at getting customers, in my personal opinion. And I hope this was of help to somebody.